So you want to hear a story? I got one for you. And this one comes with its own particular brand of weird. You'll see what I mean. I think you're going to like this one. There's a house in rural Pennsylvania with a room that real estate agents refuse to mention. Not because it's dangerous, not because it's damaged, but because it does not stay empty. Every person who has tried to use that room eventually left the house, and every object that appeared inside it belonged to someone who hadn't lived there yet. Welcome to Now It's Dark. The house was built in the late 1940s, modest, isolated, surrounded by trees that blocked out most of the road. In 2009, Elliot and Marjorie Vance bought it as their first real home. They had 2 young children. They wanted quiet. They wanted peace. During the walkthrough, the realtor made one offhand comment. She gestured toward a small room at the back of the house and said, "Most people just don't use that one." No explanation, no follow-up, and the Vances were not quite sure if she was making a joke or what it was, but they had too many other things to worry about at the time, so they just let it go. The room was small and windowless. It was too warm in the winter and too cold in the summer. They shut the door and forgot about it. A few weeks later, Elliot opened the door. Inside the empty room sat a wooden rocking horse. Old, with chipped paint and dust ground into the grain like it had been handled for decades. Thing is, they didn't own a rocking horse. There were no footprints, no drag marks, no marks of any kind in the room. They searched the house to see where it may have been previously stored. They looked in the basement, they looked in the attic, they checked every closet and found no sign of it. There was no access point to the bedroom other than through that door, so there was no other way it could have gotten there that they could think of, and there was no sign of forced entry. They simply removed the rocking horse and threw it away. That night, once the house got quiet, something creaked. Just once. At first, they tried to explain it. The previous owners must have left something behind. The realtor may have made some kind of a mistake. A neighbor could have entered while they were gone. But none of that made any sense and certainly didn't hold up to scrutiny. The house had been empty for months before they moved in. The locks had never been changed because they didn't need to be. More objects appeared in the room. A single child's shoe. A cracked porcelain doll. A school book with no name on it. Each time the door was closed when they went to sleep and remained closed when they woke up in the morning, but each time they opened the door, the room was already finished when they opened it. They stopped throwing the objects away and started leaving them right where they were in the room. What unsettled them the most wasn't the objects themselves, it was the consistency. Every appearance happened overnight, never during the day, never while anyone was awake. The door never opened on its own. And yet, every morning, the room felt occupied. The temperature near the door changed. The handle felt heavier some days than others. Marjorie said it sounded like someone exhaling on the other side just before dawn. Then the furniture began to appear. A dresser at first, then a bed, and a chair. These items weren't just dumped in the room, or even simply placed. They were centered, aligned, prepared, as if the room was setting itself up for someone specific. Eventually, Elliot did what the realtor had suggested from the beginning. He stopped opening the door. For 2 full weeks, nothing happened. No sounds, no new objects, at least as far as they could tell. No changes. The house felt normal again. They began to believe the room needed attention in order to function, and that ignoring it was enough. When they finally opened the door again, the room wasn't empty. The furniture was unchanged, but the ceiling was not. Small hand-shaped impressions pressed downward from above, dozens of them, child-sized, overlapping, reaching, as if the ceiling were the floor for something standing on the other side. That night, Marjorie heard breathing, not from the walls, but from inside the room itself. Records uncovered later revealed something impossible. Every object that had appeared in the room belonged to a future occupant of the room. Adults who had not moved in yet, even items from children who hadn't been born yet. And every one of them would die somewhere else, not in this house, not in this room, but somewhere else after moving out and moving on. The room wasn't killing anyone. It was preparing. The final item to appear was a framed photograph. The photograph showed Elliot and Marjorie standing in front of the house, smiling. But upon closer inspection, it was determined it wasn't actually a photograph at all. The lighting didn't match. The shadows were wrong. Their faces had been assembled from different moments in time, from different pictures. Driver's license, holiday photo, image taken from social media. It was a composite. The room hadn't captured them. It had reconstructed them. Not as they were, but as they would be remembered. They moved out the next morning. The room is still there, and it's still preparing. It doesn't haunt the living, it prepares them. All right, I told you that one came with its own particular brand of weird, so what do you think? How is it that a room filled with items from people who did not yet live there but did at some point in the future come to live there? And how is it that they all died after leaving that room? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, a like would be a really big help. And if you want more, subscribe. And thank you for watching. Now it's dark.